never show off, never be selfish, never fall down, never fail, never show fear, never get out of line. It's too hard, it's too contradictory, and nobody gives you a medal or says thank you. And it turns out, in fact, that not only are you doing everything wrong, but also everything is your fault.
Guys, it's been a while, and after such a long hiatus from posting, I know a lot of you guys are probably thinking, oh, Jesse, you bringer of wisdom, you paragon of truth, you harbinger of the end times, where have you been these last 9 months? Well, if you're one of my loyal supporters on Instagram, you know that I suffered from a mental breakdown due to my anticipation for the release of the Barbie movie. Now, some of you hawk-eyed wastemen out there might be thinking, but Jesse, the Barbie movie came out in July. It's December now. What have you been doing since then? And to you, I'd say, why are you meat watching? So trying to get my business. Pussy-o! And then I tell you that the Barbie movie had such a profound impact on me and my perspective on life that I was forced to take a step back and reflect on my former misogynistic content and how it was just fueling the notions and gender norms that were forced on us by the patriarchy.
I will say on my chest, Lizzo is too big for me. I'm good.
But how did the Barbie movie change my life, and what did I learn, you ask? Well, you might be shocked to hear that I, Jesse Praise Alfonso III, learned absolutely nothing.
Huh?
The film was calm and generally well made on all fronts, but in this video I want to focus on the best part of the movie, and that's Ken. Before we get into the video, make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment, all of that stuff. Just engage, okay? You know how the algorithm works. Help a boy out, please. Not only was Ken the best and funniest part of the movie, but I'm Just Ken is an anthem that took over all of my socials for months because it resonated with so many. That and it is low-key a banger. I'll be honest, it kind of is a banger. Through Ken, Greta Gerwig shines a light on an aspect of our society that the mainstream media doesn't really ever acknowledge, and that's the fact that men these days are extremely lonely and purposeless. At the beginning of the story, Ken is shown constantly trying to gain Barbie's approval, trying to simply be seen by Barbie because, as the movie tells us, they're essentially just accessories to the Barbies.
Don't tell him, but I never got a Ken.
That's because Ken is totally superfluous.
Ken is the epitome of what we're told a man should be in the modern world. Goofily obedient, without agency, and worshipping the ground that our superior female counterparts walk on. And yet, the first time we see Ken truly be happy is once he enters the real world and feels seen and respected, which in my opinion is totally representative of what the average guy wants in 2023. Now obviously this doesn't apply to me because your boy is built different and you guys are just friendless bums and need to get jobs. Yeah. But a new study comes out every other week detailing how 45% of women will be single by 2030 and how that's a good thing. How men are reporting that they have 0 close relationships or that they're dropping out of society completely. Despite this, prior to the Red Pill Andrew Tate, no one ever seemed willing to have the conversation.
Well, what colour's your bouquet?
It's almost like there's filled socky stuff on your bed once you finally get a girl to come over to your place. Out of sight, out of mind. Nah, I'm joking, you guys don't get
Emotional damage!
We actually live in a world where all the corporations would rather pander to
modern audiences
by hitting on cisgendered heterosexual white men than give them the content they want and make money.
What is going on?
You people.
What do you mean, you people?
Mediocre white men.
What are you talking about?
You're always f***ing things up for everybody and you're always first in line for second chances. You're not exceptional. I'm sorry, you're not, and I am so sick of it. Oh my God, what a fucking load.
An attitude which is perfectly embodied by the Mattel executives in the movie, that instead of being happy for the high sell figures of the Kens, an attitude which is perfectly embodied by the Mattel executives in the movie, that instead of being happy for the high sell figures of the Mojo Doja Casa House. Mojo Doja Casa House. Ken's Mojo Doja Casa House. Mojo Doja Casa House. Fam, that is hard to say. That is, yeah. It's like the 5th time I tried it. Mojo Doja Casa. An attitude which is perfectly embodied by Mattel's executives in the movie, that instead of being happy for the high sell figures of Ken's Mojo Doja Casa House, decide to go through the effort of traveling to a faraway dimension to restore the status quo of Barbie Land. The parallels to the real world don't stop there, however. Ken gets his comically childish model for a patriarchal society from reading some feminist books he finds in the school library. And I'm sorry, but there's no way that this wasn't intentional for Greta Gerwig. This caricature of a male-dominated society he tries to implement in the kingdom sounds just like the world that 2016 internet radical feminists always spoke about. But really and truly, it's just like what Barbie said. The real world isn't what I thought it would be. It's easy to just blame men for all the world's problems, but unfortunately, life is more complicated than that, and I think the movie does well to make that clear. It would be impossible to talk about the Barbie movie without mentioning the iconic scene of America Ferrera's character talking about the issues that women face in the world. I heard some reviews mention that it caused audience members to cry as they could relate to the issues that she spoke about. And to be honest, even though the speech very much implies that men are the reason for the problems she brings up, I'm not surprised that people would have such an emotional reaction to the message. And that's because she's not actually speaking about what it's like to be a woman. She's speaking about what it's like to be a human navigating the world we live in. Yes, women may feel that they have to tiptoe through life, and regardless of what they do, will always receive the ire of unsatisfied parties. But it's the exact same thing for men. As a man, you're told you should show more emotions and be more vulnerable. But don't be too emotional and vulnerable, or that could be icky. You're shamed on the internet if you start dating for earning a certain amount of money, but don't earn too much money, or you're shamed and called a predator for having a power imbalance in your relationship. And God forbid a man ever jumps on a podcast to talk about how he wants companionship from a woman that meets a specific standard, because he must be an entitled crypto-fascist incel that wants subservience from women, just like The Handmaid's Tale. Although the movie doesn't ever explicitly discuss men's perspective on this, I think the writers are aware of the modern man's plight, as they literally have the Barbies distract the Kens by taking advantage of the desire for companionship through pretending to show an interest in the things that they like and pretending to require help from them, because again, God forbid a man wants to help a woman he loves or wants her to show an interest in his hobbies, as that would be some form of toxic masculinity that needs to be eradicated completely from all society. Ken's arc in the movie ends once Barbie apologizes for neglecting him. He learns that he doesn't need to get all his validation from her and discover himself. Although there's such a simple message you could probably get from a fortune cookie at your local Chinese, when you look at modern society, it's so abundantly clear how necessary and important such a message is for younger generations that are growing up in a likes and views economy thanks to social media. They're constantly seeking the validation of their peers, morphing their opinions and who they are in order to appease strangers on the internet, without ever taking time to figure out who they themselves really are, never realizing that they could indeed just be Knuff. Oh, that was so cringe. Long story short, I thought the Barbie movie was pretty good, and it has its flaws, which I didn't really want to do a deep dive into, because you can just go watch Ben Shapiro if you really want to see that.
What the f? Run.
The movie had a decent enough message for today's generation. Become comfortable with who you are and focus on the things that make life worth living, like money and big boobs. Anyway, guys, if you got to this part of the video, thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. I'm gonna try to be posting more often and more content like this. Leave a comment down below if there's anything you want to, if there's any topic you want me to touch on, if there's any movie you want me to do a review on, kind of thing. I'm gonna be bringing some other people on in the fold. They're gonna be helping me with videos, so you might see them make an appearance soon. And they're going to be helping me with like editing and everything as well, so it's probably going to be updated. Cannot speak today. Oh my days. I'm going to be uploading a lot more. Let me know what you guys think, and make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment. I'll see you guys later. Peace.